This broadcast from the last frequency is entirely fictional. All names, characters, locations, and events are products of imagination, created only for storytelling and dramatic effect. Any similarities to real people, places, or situations are purely coincidental. The content is not meant to harm, insult, or single out any person, group, community, or belief. Listener discretion is advised. If you like the broadcast, support its production by commenting, sharing, and subscribing. This is not a test. This is Jordan Hale, broadcasting on 14.230 megahertz shortwave. If you're hearing this, then God help us all. The bombs have fallen. Cities are gone. I don't know how much time we have, but I'm going to keep talking for as long as this transmitter holds. It's 3:42 in the afternoon. Or it was when the last signal came through. Time feels strange down here now. The light doesn't change. Just flickers from these old bulbs and the hum of the backup generator that keeps coughing like it's on its last breath. I'm somewhere below ground, about 12 feet or so. This station wasn't built for a war, just tornadoes, just bad storms. But it's the only thing still talking that I know of. The heat's gone. It's cold in here. My hands are shaking. Not from fear, well, maybe some of that, but mostly just the cold. It's quiet now. Too quiet. No jets, no cars, no phones. Just this old mic and static. About an hour ago, maybe more, there was a light. I didn't see it directly. But the sky outside that little camera feed, it went white. Blinding white. And then it was gone, like someone tore open the sky for a second and stitched it shut with fire. I lost the satellites first. GPS just blinked out. Then the communications. Every emergency frequency went silent. Cell towers, dead. After that, the radio chatter started falling off. First New York, then London. Then, silence. They hit the cities. We don't know how many, don't know where it started. Some say Beijing got hit first, some say Moscow. It doesn't matter now, it's happening everywhere. I picked up a shortwave burst that said Paris was vaporized, gone in under a second. I didn't want to believe it, but that was before I heard what happened to Chicago. I used to live in Chicago. My sister was there. She had just moved back from the coast. She said she wanted to be near the lake again. Said the air was better than L. I tried calling her when the sky lit up. The line went dead. I don't think she's alive. Jesus. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe you're out there. Maybe someone is. Maybe this is all just going into the void. I've got a map in front of me, but it's useless now. All the lights are off. The camera we used for traffic, frozen. Just this orange haze across the whole screen. Dust, maybe. Fallout. I don't know. I've never seen colors like that in the sky before. Some of the emergency band guys, what's left of them, were still trying to coordinate about an hour ago. Said Denver was a confirmed strike. Washington, D.C., no longer responding. Multiple warheads. No confirmation on Seattle, but the pulse took out most of the West Coast's grid. Radiation sensors are off the charts, even underground. There's a guy I used to talk to on the ham bands, goes by Red Dog, somewhere near Harrisburg. He pinged me maybe 30 minutes ago. Said he saw a flash on the horizon. Said the wind changed. The air started tasting like copper. Then he went quiet. I haven't heard from him since. It's hard to know what's real anymore. There's a lot of noise on the bands. People screaming, praying, some trying to reach loved ones. Others, just silence. You can almost hear the grief in that silence, like the world exhaled all at once and forgot how to breathe back in. I don't know what day it is. I keep thinking about all the things I was supposed to do today. Pay my water bill, go to the grocery store, pick up more cat food. The cat didn't make it. He was outside when the pulse hit. He just didn't come back. The wind outside the station changed. I can't hear it, but I can feel it through the ventilation shaft. It's wrong. Like the world flipped directions. The trees up top are probably all ash now. That firestorm, it moved fast. Faster than anyone said it would. No warnings, no sirens. Just flash, heat, and ruin. I've got a Geiger counter hooked up. It's old, analog. Still works. For now, the needle keeps bouncing between red and redder. So, I guess that means don't go outside. If anyone is hearing this, you need to stay where you are. Don't leave shelter. Don't try to drive. The roads are gridlocked, and the pulse knocked out everything with a circuit. If it plugs in, it's dead. That includes your car, your phones, your fancy radios. All gone. If you're close to a fallout shelter, get to it. If you're underground, stay there. Don't open the doors. Fallout rides on the wind. You won't see it, but it'll burn you from the inside out. Wait at least 48 hours before even thinking of stepping outside. I know that sounds like forever, but if you go now, you won't last 10 minutes. I've got a book down here. Civil Defense Manual from the Cold War. Figured it might be good reading one day. Guess today's the day. It says fallout's worst in the first 24 hours. That's when the dust is thickest. It clings to everything. Roofs, grass, your clothes. You can't wash it off once it's in you. You breathe it in, and that's it. If you've got plastic sheets, tape off your windows. Seal the door frames. Put wet towels under the cracks. Ventilation is a risk, but so is suffocating. Choose your battles. Try to stay hydrated. Don't eat anything that wasn't sealed before today. If you've got canned food, you're lucky. That stuff's gold now. If you've still got power, some old generator or windmill or something, conserve it. Use it only for heat and light. Batteries won't last forever. This bunker was supposed to be temporary. Emergency use only. We've got maybe a week's worth of supplies. Less if I lose the freezer. Earlier, there was a voice through the static. A kid, maybe 15, said his name was Eli. Said he was in Michigan, hiding in a church basement with his little sister. Parents were gone. He didn't say how, just gone. He kept asking if help was coming. I didn't have the heart to tell him the truth. Help isn't coming. Not right now. I told him to stay put. Told him to ration his food. Keep the doors shut. Listen for the birds. That's what the book says. When the birds start singing again, it might be safe to go outside. But right now, there's no birdsong. Just silence. And static. I can't hear the planes anymore. Not since the first strike. Not sure if that's good or bad. Maybe they're out of bombs. Maybe they're saving them. Someone on the band said NORAD was hit. Cheyenne Mountain. That's supposed to be the last line. If that's gone, I don't want to think about it. If anyone can hear this, if you're still alive, you're not alone. I don't know who's left or where, but I'm still here. I'm going to keep this mic on as long as I can, as long as the power holds, as long as my voice works. If you've got batteries, save them. If you've got old radios, try scanning the bands. You might hear me, or someone else. There's a woman in El Paso. Used to run a pirate station. We used to joke about the day the world would end and how we'd be the last ones talking. Maybe she's still out there. Maybe she's broadcasting too. God, I hope so. I don't know what day it is. I don't even know if this counts as a day. The last thing I remember before the lights went out was the sound of sirens. Then, silence. And now, this. I'm going to stay on the air. I don't know what good it'll do, but maybe, somewhere out there, someone is listening. I'll keep talking. Please, if you hear this, stay safe. Stay hidden. And remember, don't go outside. Not yet. Not yet. Still here. Still breathing for now. It's been maybe an hour since the last update. I don't know exactly. The clocks down here all run a little different now. The generator's power dips sometimes, and everything just slows. Lights flicker like they're trying to blink through tears. I've got this old wristwatch, not digital, thank God, but the second hand keeps stuttering, like even time's having trouble keeping it together. Outside the bunker door, the world is quiet. Not peaceful quiet. The kind of quiet that feels heavy, like something is waiting. I keep thinking I hear things, movement, maybe wind, but it could be the ventilation shaft echoing weird. Could be my brain. I don't think I've slept. I don't think I could, even if I tried. The map here, it's just a laminated poster board. Nothing digital. But I've been marking it every time I lose a signal, every time a voice disappears. I've circled 15 cities, crossed out 11. That's just the ones I know for sure. New York is gone. They hit it hard. I heard a survivor for maybe 2 minutes. Some guy, sounded like a cab driver, breathing heavy, kept repeating, "There's nothing left. There's nothing left." And then he was gone. Signal just dissolved into white noise. That was 35 minutes ago. I didn't even know his name. San Francisco went dark after that. No signals from Oakland. Nothing out of Sacramento. LA's a black hole. London held out longer than most. That surprised me. I guess I thought they'd be first, or that they'd retaliate harder. But the voice I heard from there, she was crying, just sobbing into the mic, whispering something about the Thames boiling. That was, God, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes ago. I can't keep track of time anymore. A few bursts still come through. Little flares of human voices like sparks in the dark. One guy, thick Russian accent, kept screaming coordinates. I think he was military, but he was calling out impact zones like he was reading off a checklist. Cold, precise. Didn't even flinch when he said, "Moscow, gone." Moscow, gone. There's no order anymore, no control, just reactions, panic, maybe some old pre-programmed systems finishing what was started, retaliation loops, automated warheads. We never thought it'd actually come to this. Always figured we'd back off before the button was pushed. I guess someone ran out of reasons not to. The strange part is, no one's claiming it. No country, no broadcast, no message of victory or warning, just silence. Like the bombs fell themselves. Like the world decided to reset without telling the rest of us. Maybe we did this to ourselves. I've been thinking about the moment it started. I was here, just like this. Microphone on, playing music, some old jazz vinyl I keep in a box, the kind of songs that make you feel like the world has a heartbeat. And then the lights flickered. My coffee mug tipped, and the whole building shook, not like thunder, not like a quake. This was deeper, like something beneath the earth had snapped, a pressure you could feel in your teeth. I heard metal groan. I smelled insulation burning. Then the power died. Whole board just went dark. I ran, left the record spinning and bolted for the hatch. Sealed it just before the second shake. That one wasn't just vibration. It was impact, like the world above had been punched by God. I waited there, just holding the door, listening. The air changed. The silence was too big. No sirens, no cars, just that nothing. And then the backup kicked in. Just enough juice for the board, the lights, and this mic. That was the moment everything changed. You ever feel the world stop breathing? I did. Now it's just us, the ones underground, the ones lucky enough, or unlucky enough, to still be breathing. If you're hearing this, you're one of them. I want to tell you what I know, what I've pieced together from the last bits of comms. The EMP pulse was real, more than one. One guy called it a laddered strike, whatever that means. Sequential detonations at high altitude, designed to fry circuits, blackout infrastructure. Even things in shielding didn't survive. The blast zones followed after. New York, Washington, Dallas, Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles. Then they hit overseas. London, Berlin, Madrid, Tel Aviv, Cairo, New Delhi. Beijing is off the air. No word from Tokyo. Sydney might still be alive, maybe too far south. I don't know. But here's the part that gets me. They didn't hit everything. Not all the major cities. Some are just quiet. No flash, no noise, no communications, like they were never there to begin with. There's speculation, old intelligence chatter, that some of the warheads were decoys, dummy payloads. But that doesn't make sense. Why send fakes when the real ones already burned everything? Unless they wanted to make us paranoid. Make us guess who's next. I don't have answers, just pieces. One man on the band said he was in Kansas, near a missile silo. Said he watched the hatch open, and then close again. No launch, just silence. Was it jammed? Was the order stopped? Or did someone up top decide not to go through with it? We'll never know. You know what haunts me? Not the blasts, not the heat, not even the silence. It's the voices that stopped too soon. A girl named Rachel. I don't know where she was, somewhere near the coast. She was whispering into a handheld, trying to get a signal. Said she could see the clouds glowing. Said her skin felt hot. I told her to find shelter. She said she didn't have time. Her voice faded out mid-sentence. She never said goodbye. I hope it was fast. I keep looking at this radiation meter like it's going to give me some kind of answer. The needle doesn't stop moving. It just jitters, like it's afraid to tell me the truth. There's a sound now, outside, low, almost like thunder. Not the rolling kind, something sharper. Could be another blast. Could be something collapsing. Could be footsteps. Number. Probably not. Nothing could be walking out there, right? I keep thinking I'll hear someone banging on the door. But I know better. If you're out there right now, above ground, you're not coming back in. Not without dying on the threshold. I buried a flashlight in the gravel near the entrance, one of those old crank kinds. I left a note. Just in case. Just in case someone stumbles past and needs to know where I went. It's stupid, I know. But hope's the only currency left. That and clean water. I'm going to stay on the air. For as long as I can. If you're listening, please stay alive. If you're scared, that means you're still human. If you're crying, that means your heart's still working. Don't lose that. This is Jordan Hale, or maybe just a voice in the dark, broadcasting from a box buried in earth, hoping someone, somewhere, is still listening. It's 4:21 p.m. now, I think. Hard to know for sure. My watch keeps falling behind. The generator stutters every time the voltage dips, and the clocks go with it. But I keep writing the time down anyway. Every update, every name, every voice. I don't know why. Habit, maybe. Maybe I'm hoping one day someone finds this notebook. Maybe I just want proof that I didn't imagine all of this, that we existed. The air in here is starting to feel different, not dirty, not smoky, just heavy, like something's pressing down from above. I cracked open the shaft earlier, just for a few seconds, needed to know if the wind had changed again. It has. The dust is thicker now. It's sticking to the edges of the grate, like gray snow. And it stinks, like burning metal and plastic and something else. Something alive that isn't anymore. The bunker wasn't meant to run more than 72 hours without resupply. I've got water, but not a lot. Rations, maybe 6 days if I stretch. I already started cutting back. I haven't eaten today. I'm not even hungry. My stomach's just numb. Everything feels like it's happening through a screen, like I'm watching it all from the other side of a wall. I keep replaying yesterday in my head. Was it yesterday? God, it feels like a year ago. There was a kid, must have been no older than 10. His voice came through on one of the local emergency bands, clear as anything. He said his name was Tyler, said he was hiding under his school's gym bleachers with a walkie-talkie and a pack of gushers. He asked if his mom was okay. He kept saying she told him not to leave until she came back. And she hadn't come back yet. That was before the second wave. I've tried scanning for him since then. Nothing. Just static. His signal's gone. It hits you at strange times. Grief. Doesn't come in like a wave. It just stands in the corner of the room and waits. And when you stop talking, stop breathing heavy, stop pretending you're busy, it moves in. I'm not ready to let it all in yet. There was a report out of Norway. Just a whisper, really. A couple engineers on a mountaintop repeater said the northern lights went black, that the sky was clear but empty, said their instruments were showing magnetic fluctuations they couldn't explain, like the poles were trying to shift, like the atmosphere itself was breaking apart. They said it felt wrong to look up. I think they're right. I haven't looked at the camera feed since it went red. No point. It's just a window into a grave. I don't know how to describe the sky right now. From what others have said, what little still gets through. It's like a bruise stretching across the world. Purple, black, pulsing with something behind it. Fallout clouds mix with what's left of the jet stream. That's what causes the weird lighting. The sun's still there, technically, but it can't reach us. Not through that curtain. I've been listening to the power lines. You can hear them hum sometimes through the walls, even with the grid down. It's not electricity. Not really. Just leftover energy. Static. Residual ghosts of what used to be. There's a town maybe 20 miles east of here. I used to drive through it when I visited my dad. Small place. 2 diners, a fire station, One blinking red light on Main Street. I haven't heard a single thing out of it. Not a voice, not a burst. Just gone. I wonder if the blinking light is still blinking. I wonder how many stoplights in the world died at the same second. I wonder how many people never made it home. I keep thinking about my neighbor, Mrs. Geller. She used to bring me soup in the winter, kept a shotgun by the front door, said it was for the coyotes, but I always figured she just liked knowing it was there. She was tough, the kind of person who would have stared a mushroom cloud in the face and muttered something about, finally, some peace and quiet. I hope she's still out there. I hope she's got enough canned beans to ride this out. But I haven't heard her on the bands. I haven't heard anyone I recognize. There's no guidance coming, no instructions. FEMA is dark. The Red Cross was transmitting static Morse for a while, SOS on a loop. But even that stopped now. Military bands have gone from chaos to silence. No presidents, no premiers, no kings or parliaments. Just static. I think about how quiet the world must be right now. No traffic, no planes, no factories, no elevators humming up glass towers, no buzzing phones or city sirens or music bleeding through apartment walls. Just wind, and maybe fire, maybe footsteps, but mostly just nothing. That kind of quiet isn't peaceful. It's terrifying. Like the whole world is holding its breath and no one knows when to let go. Someone earlier asked what people should do. If you're listening, if this is getting through to any of you, I'll tell you the same thing I told her. Find clean water, find shelter deep underground or thickly walled. Don't trust running water unless it's been filtered, boiled. Don't drink rain unless it's been falling for days. The first rain is poison. Stay away from anything metal exposed to the air. Don't pick up tools from the ground. Don't eat anything you didn't open yourself. And wait. Just wait. If you're near mountains, caves are better than basements. Earth insulates, stone protects. If you can dig deeper, do it. If you have lead, God, if you have lead, wrap your sleeping area with it. Radiation doesn't forgive. If you see light on the horizon, don't run toward it. Don't be curious. Don't go outside. That glow is death. Wait until it's dark. Wait until it's been dark for a long, long time. And keep listening. Because even if you don't hear me anymore, someone else might be talking. There's a girl in Quebec. Her name's Nadine. She's broadcasting too. Different band. Just above 12 megahertz. She's calm. Her voice cracks sometimes, but she's calm. She talks about books, poetry. I think it helps her stay sane. She read a line the other night. God, it feels like forever ago now. From a poem. Even in the silence, something hums. It stuck with me. Because that's all we have now, isn't it? The hum. The noise we make to remind ourselves we're still here, that we're still trying. That even if the world burned, there's still someone out there whispering into a microphone, hoping, just hoping. I've got to reset the battery. Power's dipping again. If I lose the feed, I'll come back. As long as I can. As long as I'm breathing. If you're alive, you're already doing better than most. Hold on. Please. Hold on. I've managed to patch in another power cell. Just a small backup, one of the old gel packs we used for the tower beacon. Not meant for long-term output, but it bought me another couple hours of light. Maybe 3 if I keep everything else dimmed. The radio still works. The mic's still hot. I'm still here. If this signal's coming through, know that this station is still transmitting even if barely, even if no one's left to listen. I've rewired most of the control panel now. Old habits, idle hands. I keep thinking if I can get one more band online, maybe I'll hear something I missed. Maybe a relay tower's still up. Maybe someone's tapping out a message in Morse. Maybe there's still a base out there that hasn't gone dark. But every new frequency I scan is just silence. Or worse, voices that start strong, then vanish halfway through a word. I heard a woman earlier, Spanish accent, said she was in what sounded like Merida. Couldn't tell if it was Mexico or Spain. Doesn't matter now. She said the air was thick and orange, that birds were falling out of the sky. Her last words were, "No queda nadie. There's no one left." She didn't scream. She just faded out. I added her to the list. Page 6. I'm on my third notebook now. Every name, every call sign, every whisper. I want there to be a record. Even if we don't make it, even if no one ever finds this station, at least something existed. It's strange how quickly everything stops mattering. Credit cards, commutes, sports scores, deadlines, all the things we wrapped our lives around, all the things we thought we couldn't live without. Gone, replaced by food, fire, shelter, breath, and silence. God, the silence. There's no more hum of air conditioners, no more buzz of neon signs, no more background music in stores or radios and passing cars. The soundscape we lived in, the constant invisible blanket of human noise, it's been torn away, and now we're naked, alone. And the quiet is loud enough to drive you mad. I think I saw something earlier, just past the camera's edge. It could have been a reflection or dust or something else, a shape, moving. But there's no way to be sure. The feed's corrupted, everything's static and red haze. But my skin felt it. You know that feeling when someone's standing behind you in the dark? It was like that, only colder. The radiation levels are spiking again. I had to cover the vent. Sealed it with tape and some spare insulation. The air's getting stale now, but better that than breathing glass dust. That's what it is, essentially. Airborne particles of sand and concrete, mixed with fuel and bone and God knows what else. It gets into everything. It scratches your throat, your eyes, your thoughts. I've been coughing more. I'm trying not to think about it. There's no hospitals anymore, no clinics, no antibiotics, no fours. If you get sick now, you stay sick. You recover, or you don't. I heard from a nurse, maybe 2 hours ago, somewhere near Tulsa. She was hiding in the basement of an old folks' home with 12 patients. She'd barricaded the doors with dining tables, said they'd run out of insulin and adult diapers, but she wasn't going to leave them. Her voice was calm, firm. She said her name was Monica. I haven't heard her since. I keep thinking about what she said, though. She said, "They looked at me like I was the last human being left on Earth." That stuck with me, because maybe she was. Maybe that's all we are now, mirrors for each other's fading humanity. I try to keep my hands busy. I've been rewinding old cassette tapes, playing messages people left years ago, forgotten interviews, town meetings, birthday dedications. I found one from a kid who called in to wish his mom a happy Mother's Day. His voice cracked when he said, "I love you." He couldn't have been older than 8. That tape is spinning on loop now, quietly, behind me. "I love you, Mom," over and over again. It's strange what becomes sacred After everything's taken, the smell of dust and copper, the warmth of a flashlight beam, a child's voice saying something real. I haven't cried yet. I've wanted to. God, I've felt it build, rise, choke the back of my throat. But I haven't. Not because I'm strong. Because I'm scared that if I start, I won't be able to stop. I'll flood this bunker with every scream I held back while the sky burned. And if I fall apart, the mic goes quiet. And if the mic goes quiet, maybe someone who needed to hear a voice will give up. So I don't cry. I talk, and I wait, and I write names. There was a signal from Alaska. Faint, just a weather beacon. Still broadcasting barometric pressure, even though there's no weather left to report. Just a dying machine in the tundra, stubbornly doing its job while the world ends around it. There's something poetic about that. Something human. I've got a list of old contacts taped to the wall. Engineers, ham operators, retirees. I used to play chess with a guy in Vermont over the airwaves. He'd call his moves and wait a week for mine. I haven't heard from him since last Friday. His last message was, knight to E5. I told him, pawn to C6. That board is still set up on the desk, waiting for his next move. I'll leave it there, in case he answers. Because hope, even stupid hope, is all we've got. Even when it hurts, even when we know better. If you're listening, light a candle. Wrap yourself in something warm. Hold someone close if there's still someone to hold. If you're alone, know that you're not. Not completely. I'm still here. So is this voice, this signal, this breath in the dark. We haven't disappeared yet. And maybe, just maybe, there's a dawn waiting beyond the smoke. Even if we can't see it yet, I'll be here, listening, watching the meters, writing the names, hoping, always hoping. Still here, still breathing, barely. It's 5:03 p.m. now, or what I think is 5:03. The sun's been gone for hours, even though the clock says it's still afternoon. The dust is so thick it's turned the sky into a wall. Can't tell what direction the wind is coming from anymore. Can't tell if it's even wind or just heat shifting ash. I tried opening the hatch again for a second. Not the full door, just the inner seal. Thought I heard movement. Thought maybe someone had made it this far, but it was just nothing. Wind scraping gravel. Maybe an animal. I don't know. The light burned my eyes, even from inside. I shut it again and locked the bolts. Triple sealed, not taking chances. The Geiger's screaming louder than before. I've wrapped it in an old shirt to muffle it. The clicking was starting to get into my head. You hear it long enough, it stops sounding like clicks and starts sounding like a countdown. Like time running out. I don't know if it's safe here. Not really. I mean, it's better than above ground. But nothing's safe anymore. Not when the air outside eats your lungs. Not when the rain glows in the dark. Not when you don't even know if the ground beneath you is going to hold. I found a photo earlier. Fell out of one of the notebooks. It was of the studio. Before. Just a group shot. Me, Lenny, Sarah, a few interns. We just finished remodeling the place. That was, God, 2 years ago. We were smiling. We were whole. We thought we had time. Lenny loved jazz. Always had some Coltrane or Davis on loop during his shift. Said it helped keep the ghosts away. He kept a flask in the desk drawer, but he never drank from it. Said it was a reminder. Just in case the world ever ends, I want to have a sip left. I wonder if he got the chance. Sarah had this laugh, this stupid snorting laugh that echoed off the walls. Drove me crazy some days. I'd give anything to hear it again. Anything. I don't know where they are. I don't know if they made it out. No one came to the bunker. No one tried the door. I was alone when the flash hit. And I've been alone since. I keep thinking about what we lost. Not just the buildings, the monuments, the skylines, but the stories, the inside jokes, the shared glances, the sounds of people brushing past each other in crowded streets, the clink of glasses raised in celebration, the quiet sobs of someone mourning in the next room, all the things that made us human. They're gone, or buried, or floating in dust. There's a signal on 6.245 megahertz. It's weak, fades in and out like a heartbeat. I think it's coming from South Africa. I caught a word or two. Resistance, shelter, Cape Town. The voice sounded determined, calm. She said something about old mining tunnels, about survivors banding together, sharing food, learning to live without light. They're underground. Like me. Like maybe you. I hope she keeps talking. I hope she knows she's not alone. I hope I'm not alone. I've been collecting messages, not just the ones I hear. I've started making them up. I know how that sounds, but it helps. I imagine someone out there, maybe in a basement in Ohio, or a barn in Montana, or a sewer tunnel in Warsaw, someone I've never met, and I write down what I think they'd say. Here's one. Dear stranger, I don't know your name, but I heard your voice. I'm still alive. I'm eating canned peaches and listening to static, but I'm alive. And that means something. That means they didn't get all of us. Not yet. Here's another. I taught my daughter how to use a wind-up radio today. She's 6. She thinks I'm a wizard. Maybe I am. Maybe all we have left is the magic of remembering. I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe it's to fill the silence. Maybe it's to pretend I'm not just a man in a box, waiting for the world to decide whether I live or die. But when I say them out loud, I feel less like I'm losing my mind, and more like I'm holding on to something that matters. The book says we're in the high exposure window now. Fallout's densest. Don't go outside. Not for anything, not even for supplies. If your shelter's thin, crawl to the center. Find something heavy to lie under. Blankets, mattresses, anything that stops the particles from touching skin. Cover your mouth with cloth, damp if you can. Breathe slowly. Sleep in shifts. If you have a battery-powered radio, turn it on once an hour. Don't waste the juice. Just enough to check for voices. There's a man broadcasting from an oil rig in the North Sea. Don't know how he's still online. He's patching together feeds from different parts of the globe, trying to make sense of this. His last update listed 37 confirmed strikes, 9 countries, dozens of cities. All gone. He thinks there's more coming. Automated retaliation chains, fail-safes failing. Some warheads never detonated properly. They're still out there, floating, falling, waiting. He said we've entered phase 3. I don't even know what that means. He said, this is not the end of the world. This is the end of the part that pretended to be civilized. I think about that a lot. Because we were civilized, weren't we? We had rules, traffic lights, libraries, schedules, etiquette. And now? Now we're beasts in bunkers, scratching out messages to ghosts, waiting for the next fire. I don't know how to be brave. I don't even know if I want to be brave. I just want to be heard. If you're there, if you're still alive, tell someone. Write it down. Say it out loud. Say, I survived. Say it every morning. Say it when your knees shake and your lips crack and your hope runs thin. Say it because you can. Say it because that's what keeps the dark from swallowing everything. Say it because I need to believe you're out there. Please. Tell me I'm not talking to no one. Tell me you're listening. Tell me the world isn't finished. Not yet. Not while there's breath. Not while there's sound. Not while this mic is still warm and these words still matter. I'm going to stay on the air for as long as the power holds, for as long as my lungs let me. This is Jordan Hale. I'm underground, I'm afraid, but I'm here, and I'm not done yet. The lights are dimmer now, generators low on fuel. I've been rationing everything, power, water, even words. But I'll keep talking. I have to, even if all that's left out there is dust and ghosts. It's 6:14 p.m., or somewhere close. The clock ticks, but time doesn't feel real anymore. Not since the sky went black and the horizon disappeared. Not since the cities fell. I was thinking just now, I haven't heard a bird in over 2 days, not even through the feeds. No chirps, no crows, no flocks fleeing the sky. Just the memory of them, flapping somewhere in my head like they're still out there. That silence. It's different than the human kind. It's bigger, like the earth itself is holding its breath. I used to take walks every morning, around the park behind the station. Watched the sunrise, fed breadcrumbs to a pair of pigeons I named Marcus and June. I'd sit on the same bench with a cup of gas station coffee and think about what song I'd open the day with. That was only 4 mornings ago. It feels like another life. I miss the sounds of the world, the ordinary ones, wind through leaves, distant train horns, the clatter of shopping carts in a parking lot. I'd give anything to hear someone yelling over spilled milk right now. Anything. I caught a burst signal earlier. Barely audible. Spanish again. Maybe the same woman. She was whispering this time. Said something about an underground church near the coast. Said they'd buried a boy. Said the ground was too hot to dig, so they used a mop bucket to carry soil. She prayed, quietly, almost like she was humming. Then silence again. Another message came through from someone in the Midwest. Said they'd gathered in a high school gym, lit fires and trash cans, and were sharing stories by candlelight. Said someone played a harmonica until the reeds broke. He called it the last concert before the ash. That's the kind of thing I wish I could hold on to. People still finding ways to make music, even when the world doesn't want to hear it. I was thinking about that this afternoon, how even now, even after everything, some part of us still wants to sing. Maybe that's the last part to die. Maybe that's what makes us human. I had a dream during a nap earlier. Don't know how long I was out. I dreamt I was outside again, standing barefoot in a parking lot, watching snow fall, but the flakes weren't cold. They were warm, software like ash from a fireplace, and everyone I ever loved was there, just standing, looking at the sky. No one said a word, and I woke up crying. First time I've cried since the strikes. Didn't even realize it until the tears touched my lips. Tasted like salt and metal. I think my body's catching up with what my mind's been trying to hold back. I think we all hit that wall, eventually. Somewhere, someone's listening to this and thinking, it won't reach me. I'm too far, too remote, too lucky. But that's not how this works. Radiation rides the air. It settles on crops. It leaches into soil. It finds cracks and windows and lungs. It waits. There's no clean line between the ones hit and the ones spared. The map isn't a puzzle anymore. It's a bruise, one that keeps spreading. I'm getting reports of heat lightning in places that never see storms, power surges in circuits that haven't been powered in days, animals fleeing into cities, birds flying in circles until they drop. It's like the earth is confused, like it doesn't know where its children went. I got a voice from Finland, of all places, an old man, barely audible, said he was taking notes, said he had a library hidden in the forest and was transcribing every voice he could still pick up. Stories matter, he said, even if no one's left to read them. He's right. That's why I keep going. Why I keep filling notebooks. Why I'm still talking into this mic even when my throat's raw and my ears hurt from the silence. Because stories matter. And if there's anyone left to listen, just one person, then this isn't just noise. It's proof. Proof that we were here, that we loved, that we tried, that even in the final hours we still reached for each other. I think that's the most beautiful kind of defiance. To care. To care when everything else says not to. I keep thinking about a girl I knew in college, Naomi. She used to light candles during storms, said darkness made her feel closer to the stars. I thought it was silly then, but now, I wish I had a candle. I wish I could see a star. Just one. Just to remember what hope used to look like. The wind's picking up again. I can hear the shaft rattling above. That means the cloud's moving. Which direction? I don't know. But if it's south, then more towns are about to go dark. If you're downwind, wherever you are, seal the windows. Don't open the door. Cover the vents. Use plastic wrap, foil, anything you've got. Fallout doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't knock. It just comes in and makes itself at home. Like grief. Like silence. Like the end. But this isn't the end. Not for me. Not yet. I'm still breathing, and I'll keep talking, because someone has to. Because silence isn't an answer, and because someone, somewhere, might be just as scared as I am. And maybe, just maybe, my voice makes them feel a little less alone. This is Jordan Hale. Still underground, still waiting, still hoping. If you're out there, light a candle for me. It's 7:11 p.m., or that's what the clock says, but it's lying. There's no day anymore, no night, just dim and dimmer, and the light from this failing console that turns my skin the color of dust. I can't remember the last time I felt sunlight, or smelled rain, or heard my own footsteps echo outside. I used to take that for granted, the way sound travels in open space. You never really notice it until it's gone. Down here, sound dies fast. It hits the walls and just gives up. I've been trying not to look at the battery gauge. Every time I glance, it's lower. We're on fumes now. Maybe another few hours. Maybe less. But I'm not turning this mic off. Not until it dies on its own. You deserve that much. If you're still out there, I need you to know something. This isn't just the end of a war. This is the end of a rhythm, a heartbeat that held the whole world together. And now, it's skipped too many beats to come back right. People are asking when the government will respond, when relief will come. I don't think it will. I think we are what's left. A handful of voices, scattered, struggling, trying to remember how to live without being told how. That's what it's going to take now. Memory. Remembering how to start fires with flint, how to store food without refrigeration, how to boil water until it's safe, how to survive without systems, without apps, without satellites. You've got to get local, get simple, learn things you never thought you'd need. Old things, ancient things, because there's no cavalry coming, only each other. I heard from a man in Montana earlier, rough voice, said his name was Derek, said he's got a cellar with enough beans to feed 10 people, and he's opening it, not to strangers, not to everyone, but to the neighbors he used to wave at but never spoke to. He said, "We all saw each other every day, and now we need each other to survive." He's right. If you've got a neighbor still breathing, talk to them. If you've got supplies, share them wisely. This isn't about comfort anymore. It's about duration, endurance, outlasting whatever storm is still crawling across the earth. Another voice crackled in from Ireland. Kilkenny, I think, said they're using peat fires to stay warm, teaching the young ones how to fish in rivers that aren't glowing yet. She said the sun set wrong, west was the wrong color, and the trees leaned toward it like they were trying to understand. That kind of image sticks with you. Trees trying to understand what we did. Sometimes I think the earth is confused, like it wasn't ready to lose us so quickly, like it still remembers how we used to be. There's a file I keep on this desk, an old printout. It's a list of AM frequencies from the 80s, emergency preparedness bands, old pirate stations, forgotten relays. I've been scanning through it every hour, still nothing solid. But then, just 15 minutes ago, I caught a voice. A child, maybe 11. She said, "This is Anna. I'm in a closet. Mommy told me to hide and wait for the radio." Then she started singing. A lullaby. Something I didn't recognize. Something soft. And just like that, she was gone. No goodbye, no static, just gone. I don't know how long I sat there afterward. Might have been 10 seconds. Might have been 30 minutes. I just kept hearing her voice. There's a weight in your chest that doesn't move after something like that. A stone where your heart should be. And yet, it's not heavy enough to stop you. You keep going. You keep talking. Because maybe the next voice will be someone finding her. Maybe someone nearby, hearing her too, lighting a candle and cracking open a door. Maybe. The air in here is thick now. I've sealed everything I can, but the filters are old. I was coughing blood earlier. Not a lot. Just streaks. I'm trying not to think about what that means. Trying to stay focused. This mic is all I have left. The signal is my only way out, even if I never move from this chair. And if you're hearing this, you're part of that escape. Part of that thread stretching through the ash and static. Part of the thing that's not broken yet. The world is gone, yes. But we are not. Not yet. Somewhere, I believe, someone is cooking over an open fire. Someone is listening with a hand-cranked radio and a can of soup. Someone is hugging their dog, staring at the roof, waiting for the humming to stop. And somewhere, someone is listening to this and crying, not because it's over, but because it's not over yet. Because they're still here. And that means something. We are the last flickers. But flickers are still light. And light, no matter how dim, is defiance. This is Jordan Hale. Still breathing, still waiting, still speaking into the dark. And you, whoever you are, you're not alone. Not as long as I'm here. And I swear to God, I will be here as long as I can. 7:52 p.m., or something like that. I've started listening to the ticking of the clock instead of looking at it. The sound's more honest than the numbers. The numbers lie. But that tick, it's steady, unchanging. Feels like the only thing left that still knows how to move forward. The static's worse tonight. Whole chunks of the band are just noise now, buzzing like a swarm of hornets. Some of it's radiation interference. At least that's what I'm guessing. Some might be old satellites trying to talk to no one, or broken data loops, still firing signals into an empty sky. I keep listening anyway. Sometimes you can find a voice hiding inside the static, like it's clinging to the noise, hoping to be heard. I found one earlier, a man reciting scripture. His voice cracked every few verses, but he never stopped. He said, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow." And then it cut. Just cut. Didn't even finish the sentence. I sat here with my hand still hovering over the volume knob, like I could pull him back with it. I couldn't. You know what's strange? I'm starting to forget the sound of cars, that low rolling thrum they make when they pass outside your window. That used to be constant. Background noise. Now my brain has to work to remember it. I can still remember the sound of my mom's laugh, though. That hasn't gone yet. She had this warm, raspy laugh. Smoked too much when I was a kid, but she always laughed like she'd earned it, like it came from her ribs. She died in 2009. Heart failure. Quiet. Sometimes I think I'd rather it had been now. At least then she wouldn't have had to watch it all fall apart. At least she'd never have to breathe this new air. I heard from someone in Iceland. Just a quick burst, probably bounced off the ionosphere. He said the volcanoes were acting strange, ground swelling, magma chambers rising. He said he thought the pressure in the mantle was shifting, like the earth itself is mourning, like it's trying to scream. And I believe him, because the sky here doesn't just look dead. It looks angry. We did this, not just the bombs, everything that came before, the buildup, the tension, the endless push to control more, own more, burn more. We built this world like it would never break. But everything breaks. And now, so do we. I've been rationing light. Only keep one bulb on now, directly above the mic. The rest of the bunker is dark. The shadows are thicker than usual. They hang off the corners like they're watching. I keep hearing things, soft things, like feet on gravel above me, or metal bending. I checked the hatch 4 times already. It's sealed. I know it is. I bolted it myself, but I can't stop checking. Because what if something out there's knocking? Not people. Not anymore. Something else. Something that survived in ways we didn't. I sound crazy. Maybe I am, but if I don't speak it out loud, it'll fester. That's what fear does. It grows in silence. That's why I keep talking. That's why I keep this mic warm. It's not just about sending messages out. It's about keeping the dark from coming in. I've got 2 granola bars left, half a gallon of water, 1 can of peaches I've been saving, but I'm not sure why. Maybe for a good day. Maybe for the last day. I've lost track of how long I've been down here. 3 days? 4? Feels like a lifetime. But then again, lifetimes feel shorter now. You don't measure time in hours anymore. You measure it in batteries, in candles, in cans of food. You measure it in breaths without coughing. You measure it in how long you can go without hearing someone else die on the radio. I haven't heard anyone die in 2 hours. That's something. That's hope, right? Even if it's quiet hope. Even if it's just a pause before the next name. The book I have, Old Survival Guide, says humans can go about 3 days without water, maybe 20 without food. I think we can go longer without sunlight, but I'm starting to wonder what the cost is. The shadows in this place, they stretch longer than they should. They curl around things that aren't even there. Sometimes I think I see my reflection in the equipment glass, but I'm not sitting in the chair, and I'm not smiling. I blink, and it's gone. I don't say that to scare you. I say it because you need to know what this does to a person. The silence, the dark, the grief that never arrives all at once. It drips, slow, like a leak in the roof. You don't notice until everything's soaked. If you're underground and you're alone, you need to keep a routine. Write things down, even dumb things. I've been writing every time I hear a mouse, every time the generator stutters, every time my stomach growls. It keeps my mind busy. You need that. Your brain will start to wander otherwise. It'll start to invent sounds, whispers, memories, screams that didn't happen. Don't follow them. Stay here. Stay present. Stay with me. Let this be your anchor. A voice in the dark. Still here. Still talking. Still holding on to the edge of the world with one white-knuckled hand. There's something beautiful about that, I think. The sheer stubbornness of it. Not to give up. Not yet. Even when everything says you should. This is Jordan Hale. And I'm not giving up. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not until the last wire burns and the last circuit goes cold. Because someone out there is still listening. And you matter. Yes, you. You matter more than you know. 8:41 p.m. Still alive, still underground. Still trying to speak through this noise, even if I don't know what's on the other side of it. I could be talking to rubble, or dirt, or just the emptiness between falling stars. But I talk anyway, because maybe, just maybe, someone out there hasn't turned the dial yet. Maybe there's still an ear pressed to a speaker, waiting to hear something that feels alive. If that's you, thank you. You're keeping me alive too. I tried rewiring part of the console earlier. Thought I could split power from the emergency light system and patch it into the band scanner. It worked for about 20 seconds. Then the fuse blew. The whole bunker dropped into darkness. I sat there for a minute, just listening to the dark breathe. I think I forgot what real dark was. Before all this, darkness was soft. It had edges, Streetlights, oven clocks, a phone face lighting up on a nightstand. Now it's thick, like smoke, like the air's gone viscous and heavy and wants to crush you. I scrambled to get the backup light on, found it by memory. The beam cut through the room like it didn't even belong in here, like I was trespassing in someone else's quiet. I didn't even know I was shaking until the light hit my hands. It's not the cold. It's never just the cold. I checked the hatch again. Still sealed. I know it is, but I check anyway, because if I don't, I start thinking about what might be waiting out there, about the weight of all that sky pressing down on the earth like a lid. What if we're not survivors? What if we're just leftovers? I heard another voice tonight, faint, garbled. Could have been a bad connection or my mind playing tricks. But I swear she said, "The trees are burning from the inside." Then nothing. I keep replaying that sentence in my head, over and over. The trees are burning from the inside. Is it literal? Figurative? Metaphor? Or maybe the heat from the detonations was so intense, it reached into the marrow of everything. Wood, bone, brick, and left a fire there that doesn't go out. Maybe that's what's happening to us too. Slow burn, quiet fire. I don't think I've ever felt this alone. I mean, I've lived alone for years. No roommates, no family in town. I used to like it. Peaceful, private. Now it just feels hollow, like there's too much space between me and anything that breathes. Even the air feels like it's been abandoned. I've stopped using the calendar. What's the point? There are no days now. Just dark. Just hunger. Just the steady, low rhythm of waiting. I had this plan. If things ever went bad, really bad, I'd go west. Had a friend in Nevada with a windmill-powered cabin. Off-grid, stocked, prepared. I was going to make it there, but the pulse hit before I could even start the car. And now the roads are full of silence and char. I think about that friend sometimes. Wonder if she made it. Wonder if she's sitting in her cabin now, listening to the static, wondering if anyone's still out there. If you are, if you're hearing this, it's me, Jordan. I didn't make it to the hills, but I'm still breathing, and I miss you. God, I miss all of you. The old life. The messy, imperfect, noisy, irritating old life. I miss the smell of bar soap, the sound of spoons clinking in mugs. I miss crowds, lines, music spilling out of car windows. I miss mornings. I'd do anything to see a morning again. A real one, with golden light and birdsong and someone outside jogging like the world's not ending. I wonder if we'll ever get that back. If not us, then maybe someone. Maybe there's a pocket of people somewhere out of range, untouched, still living, still loving, still building something. Maybe that's the best we can hope for now. Not survival for ourselves, but that the story doesn't end with us. That someone makes it. Someone remembers. If you're still listening, and you've made it through the first few days, here's what I can tell you. Don't eat anything that's not sealed. Don't trust clean-looking water. Radiation doesn't come with a warning label. Make a filter. Charcoal. Gravel. Sand. Old cloth. It's not perfect, but it's something. Keep your electronics in metal containers if you find any. That's called a Faraday cage. Even a popcorn tin can help. If you find a radio that works, check 14.230 megahertz. That's me. And every hour, scan the lower bands. People are starting to resurface in little bursts. One man said there's still signal in parts of New Zealand. Another heard static patterns coming from Argentina. They're not gone, not all of them. And that means we're not either. We're fragments. Splinters, sparks in a burned-out world. But sparks are how fires start. And maybe that's what comes next. Maybe this isn't just the end. Maybe it's the match being struck in a cave, lighting the first torch. I don't know. But I want to believe it. So I'm staying here, at this microphone, as long as it holds, as long as I hold. Because this signal, this is the thread. This is the rope someone might need to pull themselves out of whatever hole they're stuck in. And as long as my voice can climb that rope, I'll keep talking, I promise. It's past 9:20 now. The battery is almost gone. The gauge keeps blinking. Red, then black, then back to red. Like it's gasping for breath. Same way I've been breathing. Shallow. Careful. Like every inhale might be the last clean one I get. But I'm still here. The mic is still warm. And somewhere, I believe, someone's still listening. I've stopped writing down the time between voices. Doesn't help. Some hours, it's 3 or 4 transmissions. Other hours, nothing but the sound of dust moving through the world like it's sweeping up the last pieces of us. There's a new tone on the bands. Low, almost like a heartbeat. Every 15 seconds, it pulses. Not a human signal, not language, just rhythm. Some think it's automated. Some think it's the last emergency beacon from a satellite still in orbit, confused and blind, pinging Earth like it's trying to find home. I like that idea. I like the thought that even the machines are afraid to be alone. I heard from a woman named Kira, somewhere near Anchorage. Her voice was soft, hoarse. Said she hadn't spoken to another human in 2 days. Her husband went out for supplies and never came back. She kept saying, "He said he'd come back. He promised." And then, silence. I called out to her, waited, scanned other bands. Nothing. I hope she's okay. I hope someone found her. Or maybe she found the strength to keep moving. But I can't lie. The silence after a voice like that feels heavier than all the noise in the world. It's the not knowing. That's the worst part of all of this. I could handle pain, hunger, fear, but not knowing. That eats you from the inside. I haven't eaten today. I looked at the granola bar, unwrapped it, smelled it, then put it back. Not yet. I'm saving it for when I really need it, or for when there's someone to share it with. Funny how that instinct sticks with you, even when you're alone, the need to save something for someone else, as if generosity might be the last thread holding your soul together. I'm cold. My fingers are stiff. Takes longer to turn knobs now, to write, to hold a pen. But I'm not sick. Not yet. And that's a blessing. The filter over the vent is holding. The radiation needle hasn't moved higher in the last 3 hours. Maybe the wind shifted. Maybe the worst of the fallout drifted east. Or maybe the world finally ran out of poison. Wouldn't that be something? I heard a laugh on the bands. A real one. Short. Tired. But real. It came from a man named Rob. He's in what used to be Cleveland. Said he found a working refrigerator in the basement of a Walgreens, opened it and found a single bottle of flat soda and a birthday cake shaped like SpongeBob. He said, "I sat down on the floor and ate the whole thing with my hands." Then he laughed, and I laughed too. Not because it was funny, but because it was real. Because for 1 minute, I wasn't alone in here, and neither was he. He said he's going to stay near the pharmacy. Plenty of supplies, brick building, sturdy walls. If the roof caves in, he said, I'll just move into the freezer. That's how we're living now. One joke at a time, one can, one candle, one song humming in the back of your throat when you're too scared to cry. I found myself humming earlier. Didn't even realize it. That old song, Stand By Me. Just a few notes, broken, off key. But it helped. It helped remind me that my voice still works, that I still know melody, that the part of me that used to dance in kitchens and sing in showers is still somewhere inside this bunker. Buried deep, maybe, but alive. I used to think hope was something soft, something naive. Now I know it's the sharpest thing we have. Hope is teeth. Hope is claws. Hope is what keeps us moving when the world tells us to lie down and rot. And we're not rotting yet. No, sir. Not while this station's still transmitting. Not while this voice is still climbing the dark. Not while someone, somewhere, is lighting a fire and passing a can of soup to a stranger. That's what it's all about now. Not survival for the sake of surviving, but remembering who we were when we weren't afraid. That's what I'm trying to do here. Every time I push this mic back to life, every time I speak your names, even if I only heard them once, you matter. You mattered then, and you still matter now. If you're listening and you're scared, let me tell you something simple. It's okay. You're allowed to be afraid, but don't let that fear close your mouth. Don't let it freeze your hands. Use your voice, even if it's cracked, even if no one answers. Say your name out loud. Say, I'm here. Say it again. Say it every day. Let the dark know you're not done yet. This is Jordan Hale. I'm still here, still talking, still stubborn. And if this is the last broadcast you hear tonight, let it be this. You are not gone. You are not forgotten. And the world is not over. Not yet. Not while we speak. It's 10:26 p.m. now. I haven't seen the sky in 3 days. I've started counting the hours by generator cycles. Every time it dips and hums back to life, I mark the page. It's down to a murmur now, lower than I've ever heard it. Sounds like it's whispering something to me, like it's asking how long I plan to keep going. I told it, until the last voice stops, until the last hand lets go of the radio, until we all fall silent, together. But we're not there yet. Not tonight. Not while people are still calling in. Not while names still matter. I got a transmission not long ago, faint, from what used to be Flagstaff, Arizona. A man's voice, dry and cracking, said his name was Carter Lane. Said he was holed up in a ranger station with 3 others, Darla, Luis, and a teenager named Tash. They'd been trapped for 2 days. Said the firestorms moved fast, faster than they ever should have. It wasn't wind, he said. It was like the fire had a mind of its own. It was chasing us, following light, heat, motion. It roared, but it didn't sound like fire. It sounded like screaming. They made it up the ridge before the road gave out. The asphalt melted beneath their tires. Said they left the truck running out of instinct, even though it was already dead. The sky was black and not with smoke. He said it looked like night had dropped down like a curtain. No stars, no moon, just pressure. Tash is only 16. She hasn't spoken since they got to the station. Carter says she keeps writing the same sentence over and over on the walls. Where did everybody go? Where did they go? God, I wish I knew. I told him to stay put, told him to ration heat, wait until the wind shifts, wait for my next signal. He thanked me. Then his voice broke, and then he was gone. There was another call, out of Louisiana, a woman named Marianne DeSoto, Baton Rouge. She was on an old boat radio, barely functioning, powered by a solar rig she salvaged off the roof of a shrimp shop. She said the river was dead, just mud and debris and black foam. She said, "The water doesn't move anymore. It's thick. The animals have stopped making noise." She buried her daughter yesterday, 5 years old. Said her name was Ivy, said she died in her sleep. No pain, no struggle. They covered her in a tarp and set a candle in an old glass jar beside her. Marianne said it's still burning. She hated the dark, she told me. I won't let her be in the dark. And then she asked me, so quietly, I almost didn't catch it. Is it wrong that I wish I'd gone with her? I didn't know what to say, not at first. But then I told her, Number, it's not wrong to feel that. It's human. But staying means someone remembers her. Staying means Ivy doesn't vanish. Staying means light. And she started crying. Not loud, not desperate. Just quietly, like the wind outside a shut door. And then she thanked me. Said she'd tune in again tomorrow. Said maybe she'd leave another candle for someone else. Someone still alive. And I got one more voice, one I wasn't ready for. A boy, Devin, 12 years old. From what used to be Hartford, Connecticut. He's in a mall parking garage with his dog, a black lab named Clover. His parents left to find medicine and never came back. That was 2 days ago. He found a walkie-talkie in a security bag and figured out how to patch into shortwave with a converter from a broken drone toy. When he first came through, he said, "Hello? Is anyone there? I don't want to die." He kept whispering the same sentence, over and over. I don't want to die. He doesn't know what's safe, doesn't know how to read a radiation meter, doesn't even know if he should drink the water dripping from the ceiling. He said Clover won't leave his side. He said he feeds her first. And then he asked me, in the softest voice I've ever heard, "Do you think the world will get better?" I wanted to say yes. I really did. But all I could say was, "I think you're one of the reasons it might." He didn't answer right away. Then I heard him say, "Okay." And then, "Thanks, mister." And that was it. The line faded, gone again. But his voice is still in my head, and I won't forget it. If you're still listening, please hear this. You are not alone. I've got names on this page, names of people still breathing, still fighting, still hoping. And I'm going to read them now. Because if they're out there, if even one of them hears their name, then that means this signal isn't just drifting in the dark. It means we're connecting. It means we're human. Carter Lane, Flagstaff, Arizona. Darla, Luis, and Tash, Flagstaff. Marianne DeSoto, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Ivy, age 5, remembered. Devon, Hartford, Connecticut. Clover, good girl, still protecting her boy. Liam and Petra, heard near Anchorage, Alaska. Dr. Rowe, last broadcast from Kansas City Medical. Armin, refugee from Tehran, signal bounced off Greenland ice cap. Nadine, still transmitting from Quebec, reading poetry by candlelight. Elias, deep shelter beneath a Berlin metro tunnel. Grace, Omaha, Nebraska, windmill-powered farm, offering shelter to two strangers named Roger and Eileen. Joanna, San Diego, last heard tuning a piano in the dark. Makoto, Tokyo suburb, transmitting Morse code from a flooded metro car. Red Dog, you sent me coordinates once. If you're alive, please try again. These names, they matter. They mean something. They are proof that the world isn't gone. Not entirely. Not while these voices still exist. Not while their stories can still be spoken. So please, if you're hearing this, say your name. Speak it into the dark. Let it echo. Let it remind the world you were here. And if you can, tell me who you've seen, who you've lost, who you're fighting for. I'll say their names. I'll carry them into the silence so they don't disappear. Because silence is the only thing we can't recover from. And I'm not ready for that. Not yet. This is Jordan Hale, broadcasting from somewhere underground, mic powered by a whisper, hope running on fumes, but still going because someone needs to. Because the voices are still coming. Because the world isn't done telling its story. Not yet. Not while we're still listening. 11:13 p.m. That hum in the ceiling. It's gone now. The generator finally gave out. I'm running on battery backups I pulled from old field gear. Enough juice to keep the transmitter alive. For now. Lights are flickering. One corner of the room is pitch black. The other, red. Like something's bleeding through the wall. There's no fire. No heat. Just color. And silence. The kind that folds in on you. Makes you feel like you're the only thought left in the world. But I'm still here. Still on air. Still breathing. And tonight, the voices came back. Not many, not long, but enough to remind me this isn't over. Enough to remind me I'm not the last one speaking. I heard from Marcy Whitlock just outside of Boise. She was driving when it hit. Had a '99 Corolla, old enough to avoid the pulse. Said she kept driving even when the sky went white, even when glass started raining down from the overpasses. She didn't stop until the engine gave out near a wind farm. Took shelter in a turbine's base, metal and concrete, thick enough to block the fallout. She's been there 3 days. Has a dog, Buddy, a mutt with one eye. Keeps him close to her chest at night, wrapped in an emergency blanket. She said his breathing helps keep her sane. She ran out of food today. Said her voice is the only thing she has left to offer. So she sang. Quietly. Over the radio. It was a lullaby her grandmother used to hum. Something about silver rivers and drifting stars. I didn't know the tune, but I cried when it ended. She said, "If anyone's out there near Idaho, I'm not afraid to share." Then she signed off. Just like that. Like hope was something normal. Like it didn't cost anything. I also picked up a signal bouncing across the Pacific, barely there. It was encrypted at first, military grade. But then the encryption dropped and it came through. This is Captain Elias Mercer, formerly USS Nevada. We are off-grid, reactor-powered. We have 43 survivors aboard. No harbor, no orders, holding north of Midway Atoll. All civilian transmissions welcome. Repeat, we are listening. 43 people, alive, on a floating city with no country left, no flag, no anthem, just ears, listening. If you're near the Pacific, scan for low-band echoes. They're transmitting once every hour on a pulse frequency. Short bursts. Morse. It's not much, but it's something. And right now, something is everything. Another voice came through from Pittsburgh. A child again. That's 2 in 2 days. Her name was Kayla. 11. She said her dad used to work at a radio station. They lived in the apartments above it. When the first wave hit, he carried her down to the basement. She's still there. She has power from a hand-crank flashlight. She's eating stale crackers. She said, "Daddy told me not to open the door unless he says my name twice, but he hasn't said it at all." She's waiting. Still waiting. Her voice didn't shake. Not once. But mine did. I asked her if she could read anything on the consoles, any warning lights. She said, "There's a yellow one. It blinks sometimes. It looks tired." I told her she was brave. I told her the light was like her, still shining, even when tired. She said, "I like that." And then she asked me to stay on the radio a little longer so she wouldn't fall asleep alone. So I read to her from this dog-eared survival manual. I read the section about how to make a water filter out of charcoal and sand. She said it sounded like magic, and then she said goodnight. And then, silence. But not the kind that hurts. The kind that holds. I don't know how much longer the backup battery will last. I don't even know if anyone's still getting this. The dust is thick in the vents now. Every time I cough, it feels deeper. Like something's growing where air should be. I'm not afraid of dying. Not anymore. I'm afraid of going silent. Of this voice fading without a hand to catch it. Of these names being the last things I ever say, and no one left to remember them. So I'll say them again. Because that's what matters now. Names, voices, proof. Carter, Darla, Tash, Marianne and Ivy, Devin and Clover, Rob with the SpongeBob cake, Captain Elias Mercer, Marcy and Buddy, Kayla from Pittsburgh. You are the light. You are the world. Not the rubble, not the bombs, not the silence. You. And anyone still breathing beside you. If you're near a radio, any band, try transmitting at the top of each hour. Say your name. Say your location. Say, "I'm alive." Say it, even if you think no one is listening. Because I am. And even if I'm not there forever, someone will be. Someone will hear. And that's how we begin again. Not with a flag, not with a parade, but with a name. A single word spoken into the dark. This is Jordan Hale. Still underground, still afraid, still fighting. And I swear to you, whoever you are, I will hold this mic until my hands stop working. Until the last battery fades. Until the last voice speaks. Because we're not done yet. And neither are you. Please, if you're out there, speak. Speak now. It's just after midnight now, I think. There's no sun, no moon, No clocks worth trusting, just this stubborn digital panel above the transmitter, blinking like it's remembering time for me. The kind of blinking you get when a system doesn't want to admit it's dying. I'm trying to pretend it still means something, that numbers still matter, that the line between yesterday and today still exists. The air in here's getting worse. I taped up the vents 3 times now, added plastic wrap, duct tape, towels soaked in bottled water. Still, the dust gets in. It seeps through the seams. You can't see it, not really, but you feel it. In the throat, in the back of your eyes. Every breath feels like it's brushing past something sharp, like the world outside isn't satisfied with just ending itself. It wants to get in here too, where I've been hiding, and finish the job. But I won't let it. Not yet, because people are still reaching out, still calling, still whispering into half-broken mics and salvaged gear, just hoping someone's out there. And I am. I'm here. And I heard them. About an hour ago, there was a voice from the ruins of Detroit. A woman, older, worn but unshaken. She said her name was Lorraine Davids, 72 years old. She's a retired nurse, used to run a free clinic before the collapse. She told me she's in the basement of a church and that the walls are cracked but holding. There are 8 people with her, all ages. 2 toddlers, a woman in a wheelchair, a man with burns on his hands. She's been treating them with whatever she could find: old first aid kits, unopened hotel soap, alcohol swabs pulled from forgotten backpacks. She boils water in a steel pan over a candle flame. Every night, she reads them Psalm 91. Not because she's religious, she told me she's not, but because it makes the little ones feel like the world still has rules, still has rhythm. She said something that stopped me. She said, "There's a moment in every disaster where the ones who survive are the ones who remember how to be human." Then she asked me to say their names. I wrote them down. Eddie, age 6, lost both parents, carries a plush elephant he won't let go of. Marta, age 35, 3rd-degree burns, recovering slowly. Joey, 2 years old, coughs in his sleep. Kelsey, 28, knows sign language, teaches the others to communicate when they're too scared to speak. Tommy and Reed, brothers, 14 and 16, found in an overturned school bus. Angela, 61, former schoolteacher, built a heater out of scrap metal and blankets. And Lorraine, holding them together with threadbare strength and the kind of love that doesn't ask for anything back. She said they don't plan to leave the church. "There's no other place worth going," she told me. "So we'll make this place sacred." Then she said goodnight and thanked me. She said, "Your voice keeps us from becoming shadows." And I sat here, alone in the dark, blinking hard, wondering if I've become a shadow myself. But I keep speaking, because if I can still talk, I'm still something more than a ghost. I also heard from someone named Tyrell in rural Georgia, just outside Macon. Said he's been living in a shipping container buried in the woods, something his grandfather had converted for doomsday. Never thought he'd actually need it. He laughed when he said that. Laughed the way a man does when he's run out of ways to be angry. Tyrell said he's seen things out there. Not people, shapes. Things moving through the trees at night. Too fast, too quiet. He said their eyes reflected light that wasn't there. I don't know what to make of that. Radiation sickness, maybe. Hallucinations. Or maybe the world is birthing something new in the ashes. He said he doesn't trust the quiet anymore. "It ain't the same quiet we grew up with," he said. It's like something else is listening back. Then he signed off. Didn't say goodbye. Just let the line go cold. And I've been thinking about that ever since. Is something listening back? Is that what this is? Not just a broadcast, but a conversation? If you're hearing this, if you've been silent, scared to speak, please know this. The silence is not your friend. It's not your shelter. It's the thing that swallows everything when the world ends. Don't let it take your name. Don't let it erase you. I've been writing down every name, every location, every fragment, filling pages. They're scattered all around me now. Hundreds of names, whole families, tiny moments, people singing, people begging, people laughing in the middle of horror. This is what we are now, a record made of static and memory. And tonight, a voice came through from further than I've ever heard. He said his name was Alan, a Romanian engineer stationed at a research facility in Antarctica. His voice was hollow, warped by distance, but it was real. He said they felt the tremors even there, said the ice cracked in ways it wasn't supposed to, said the aurora overhead changed color, turned violet, started pulsing like a wound. He said they lost contact with every northern base within hours. He's not sure if anyone else is left on the continent. He's alone now. Entire station to himself, surviving on freeze-dried rations and melted ice. He said he broadcasts once a day, same time, hoping to hear someone. You're the first voice I've heard in 5 days, he said. Then he paused and asked me something no one's asked yet. Jordan, what will you do when there's no one left to talk to? I didn't know how to answer, so I said, I'll keep talking anyway. And he whispered, Good. And then he was gone. It's getting colder in here. The generator's finally dead. Power now runs off what's left in a solar battery bank I jerry-rigged to the system weeks ago. The sun hasn't shone since the sky burned, but the panels absorbed something. Just enough, but it won't last. I can feel the end creeping in, not in some dramatic, fiery way, just in the quiet, the slow fade of systems, the heavy hush that waits behind every word I speak. But I'll keep going. Because someone's still listening. And because the world deserves to be remembered by the people who lived in it, not just by the ones who broke it. This is Jordan Hale. Still underground. Still alive. Still carrying your voices forward. If you're out there, don't be quiet. Speak. Even if you whisper. Even if all you can say is your name. Speak. Because speaking means you still believe. And I still believe. I still believe. It's 12:58 a.m. The screen just blinked for the third time in 10 minutes. The voltage dips, then steadies. Dips again. It's like the bunker itself is trying to breathe. Slow, ragged, tired breaths. I think we're nearing the last of it, the final stretch. But I'm still on air. Somehow. There's condensation gathering on the ceiling now, drops forming in slow motion, sliding along rusted seams and falling onto the console with soft taps. It's humid in here, the heat from my body, the sealed air, the quiet sweat of fear. You don't think about how human skin smells until you're buried with only your own for company. I haven't opened the hatch in over 30 hours. There's no need to anymore. Nothing out there I want to see. Nothing out there I could survive. The Geiger counter still ticks, slow and steady. The needle hasn't dropped. It never drops. I wonder if the earth still spins. But people are still out there. People like Cynthia Mendez in Laredo, Texas. She found an old sheriff's radio in the back of a cruiser parked behind an abandoned gas station. She patched into this frequency and whispered like someone afraid to wake a sleeping world. She said her daughter's gone, taken by the sickness a day after the clouds rolled in. Fever, bleeding gums, skin like wet paper. They buried her behind the station, under the faded "Cold Drinks Here" sign. Her name was Lily, 8 years old. Cynthia said she doesn't know what to do next. Doesn't know what day it is. She stays awake by counting colors, lists everything she sees, the red of spilled oil, the yellow of old caution tape, the blue of Lily's blanket. And she said this: I never realized how bright the world was until the color started to go away. She thanked me for the voice, said it made her feel less like a ghost. Then she signed off. Didn't say goodbye. Just faded. Like color. Like breath. I also heard from someone deep beneath the Swiss Alps. Said his name is Dr. Helmut Rice, physicist. He's hiding in an old CERN subtunnel with 2 graduate students, Alec and Zeynep. Said they survived the first strikes because of the particle collider's deep construction. He thinks the magnetic shielding may have deflected some of the worst fallout. Said it's ironic the machine once designed to unlock the universe is now keeping 3 people from being erased by it. They've been reading old research papers by flashlight, trying to stay sane by doing math. Helmut laughed when he said that. Laughed like a man dangling by a thread. He said, if humanity survives, it will be because of old tools and older ideas. He said we forgot how to survive without constant connection. That silence terrifies us more than death. And he's right. The silence out there now, it isn't empty. It's heavy. It presses in from all sides. It asks questions you don't want to answer. Like, who are you when there's no one left to answer back? And I've been asking myself that, over and over. Who am I, really, without a voice on the other side? Without a face to imagine? Without even the wind outside the bunker to pretend it's someone passing by? I think the answer is this. I'm the same as you. I'm someone who stayed behind. Someone who chose to speak when it was easier to go quiet. Someone who remembers. Someone who refuses to forget. I don't know how much longer the power will hold. The panel's running hot. Fans are clicking. Battery cables are starting to smell like burnt rubber. I've stripped every backup device I had. Old radios, dead flashlights, a camping GPS, and wired them into this thing just to keep this mic alive a few more minutes. But even if this is the end of the signal, I'm not going to stop. I'll keep recording, keep documenting, keep remembering, because there are still more names to say. Gideon, a farmer from rural Arkansas, built a radio tower from fencing wire and car batteries. Maria, hiding in a London tube station with 5 strangers and a cat she found in a shoe store. Jonas, deep in the Minnesota forest, transmitting on solar power and telling stories by candlelight. Reiko, Osaka, sitting in a subway car, still playing her violin to an empty terminal. Yusuf, Alexandria, Egypt, called in just to say, I forgive whoever did this. Seraphine, age 9, last known survivor from Winnipeg, reading aloud from a fairy tale book every night into her mic. Luis, last spotted outside Lima, carrying his father on his back through smoke-filled streets. These names, they are the bones of what was. They are the seeds of what might be again. If you're hearing this, remember one thing. You were here, You mattered. And somewhere, someone is writing your name down in a notebook with shaking hands and tired eyes, just to make sure you don't disappear. I'm not afraid anymore. I was, for a long time, but not now, because this voice, this mic, this sound moving through the dark is all I have, and I will keep it going as long as I'm able. I will keep naming, keep hoping, keep burning, like the filament of an old bulb hanging on to its final glow. This is Jordan Hale, still transmitting, still human, still alive, and if you're listening, so are you. Hold on, just a little longer. It's 1:46 a.m., and the lights just blinked out for good. I'm running this broadcast on borrowed time now. Rigged up a chemical battery I made from rusted copper and lemon juice, scraped together from what was left in the bunker supplies. It's barely enough to power this mic. The rest of the room has fallen into shadow, a kind of soft, deep dark that makes you wonder if your eyes are open at all. Everything hums different now, slower, like the walls are breathing with me, like the bunker knows we're on the edge, like it wants to hear how the story ends too. I'm cold, not shivering, not yet, but close. The kind of cold that doesn't come from temperature. It's from knowing the warmth is almost gone. The generator, the systems, the emergency lights, they're all quiet. And without the buzz of machines, the silence feels deeper, but not empty. No, it's full of memory, of weight, of voices that used to be here. I still hear them, in the cables, in the static. Voices I can't be sure were ever real, but they're part of me now, and they're why I keep speaking, even if no one answers. Even if this message is just bouncing off the inside of a dead sky. Tonight, I heard from Thomas and Alina somewhere near the Swedish coast. They found an old Cold War bunker buried under an overgrown meadow that used to be a sheep farm. Said it was locked when they found it. Took them 2 days to dig it open. Inside were beds, water drums, powdered milk, a collection of vinyl records, and a ham radio. It's the radio they used to call me. They'd only been in there for a few hours, still settling in, still wiping dust off the food labels, trying to figure out if it was okay to eat something that expired 30 years ago. They said they're alone, that the air outside is thick with chemical haze, that it smells like copper and burned meat. They saw someone standing on a ridge yesterday, silhouetted in the smoke. But the figure didn't move, just watched. Then turned and walked away. Elena said, I don't know what scares me more, that someone's still out there, or that it wasn't someone at all. They're going to stay inside. They have books, and each other. I told them I'd be here, if they needed to hear a voice. And they said, you already are the voice. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. Another survivor came through just after that, a man named Ezra from Tel Aviv. He said he's been underground since the second strike. He watched the city disappear from a CCTV feed, tall towers tipping like slow-falling dominoes, glass turning to snow, roads bubbling like lava. He said the feed froze on one image, a man holding a child. Both of them turned into shadows in the flash. Ezra said he unplugged the screen after that, hasn't turned it back on. He lives in silence now, said he only speaks once a day, to his wife's memory. He still sets 2 places at the table. Still reads aloud from the same book she gave him 10 years ago. Still talks to the photo she left on the fridge. He said something that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. I think memory is the only place that hasn't been touched by the fire. And he's right. It's why I'm still here. Memory. This isn't just a survival broadcast anymore. It's a record, a litany, a morning song for a world still flickering on the edge of what was. I heard a signal from near Lagos. A woman, Amma, maybe in her 50s. She's been broadcasting her coordinates every hour, even though she knows the infrastructure's gone. She said she's trying to reach her sister, Kemi, who was in Paris when the first wave hit. She doesn't know if she made it, but she keeps calling out over and over. Kemi, it's Amma. I'm still here. I'm still here. She repeats it. Like a prayer. Like it's the only way to hold the world together. And maybe it is. Maybe this is the thread, not the technology, not the maps or the machines, just names spoken into the void. Over and over. Kemi, Amma, Jordan, Elina, Thomas, Ezra, Lily, Devon, Lorraine, Seraphine. They're not just names, they're anchors. Every one of them is a knot tied in a net we're stretching across the end of the world, trying to catch whatever pieces might still fall. There was another moment tonight. One I don't know how to explain. I swear I heard knocking, not on the hatch, not on the walls, in the frequency. 3 short taps, then silence, then 2 more, then 1, and then static again. Could have been interference, could have been an echo, but it felt deliberate, like something out there found the wavelength, found me, and tapped back. If you're the one who sent that signal, say something. Please, even if it's just a name, even if it's just yes, because I don't know how many more hours I can keep this up, but I will try, until the last wire burns, until my voice cracks and the recorder dies, until the earth forgets how to spin, because this is all I have. This microphone, this voice, these stories, you, still listening, still breathing, still hoping, even if you don't believe in hope anymore. That's what we are now. Hope shaped like sound. Scattered survivors weaving a song across the black. I don't know what comes next. Maybe tomorrow the air stops moving. Maybe this bunker gives out. Maybe the batteries die and the light doesn't come back. But until then, this is Jordan Hale, still underground, still alive, still waiting for someone, anyone, to knock back. 2:31 a.m. I've stopped checking the power readings, not because they don't matter anymore, but because they do. Too much. Every flicker, every spark from the board, every soft click from the dying transmitter feels like a countdown, like the last few breaths of a body that forgot how to sleep. I can feel the cold in my teeth now. Not the kind that chills your skin, the kind that settles into bone, the kind that tells you your body's running out of tricks to keep itself warm. I've wrapped myself in every piece of cloth I could find, even tore up the flag we used to hang over the booth on holidays. It's just cotton now, just colorless fabric clinging to the shoulders of a voice with nowhere left to go. But I'm still here, and I'm still hearing them. Tonight, I caught a weak, tremoring voice out of what used to be San Juan, Puerto Rico. Her name was Lucia, 32, former school teacher. She said the sea came in all at once. No warning, no tide, just an enormous wall of water crashing through buildings like they were made of matchsticks. She said she survived by holding onto the frame of a cement doorway, screaming for her sister, who was just a few steps ahead and vanished in the flood. She found a rooftop. She found a radio. And she found a silence so deep that she started talking to the birds just to hear sound again. But the birds are gone now too. Lucia said she still reads out loud every morning. Children's books, fairy tales, lesson plans from before. Said she imagines her old class sitting cross-legged on the gymnasium floor, their wide eyes watching, waiting for the world to come back. I know it won't, she said, but maybe if I speak like it will, it might follow my voice home. She asked if anyone had heard from a child named Rafa, one of her students, 10 years old, wore a red scarf every day, even when it was hot. She kept saying, he was so loud, he wouldn't go quietly. And then she cried. Not loud, not breaking, just the soft exhale of someone letting go a little at a time. When she signed off, she whispered, don't stop. Don't stop being the voice, even if no one else answers. I won't, Lucia, not while this signal still stutters. Not while your name still lives here on this page. There was another voice, from what sounded like Dakar. A man named Musa, possibly former telecom engineer. He was speaking through what sounded like a homemade transmitter. His voice warped, like it had traveled through water and smoke. He said the clouds above the coast had turned violet. Said the stars were back, but they looked wrong, smeared, trembling, like they were being reflected in a broken mirror. He described fish washing up on shore in straight lines, like they'd all made the same final decision at once. And then he said something I can't stop replaying. He said, the world isn't dead, it's dreaming. He believes something ancient has woken up beneath all this ruin. Not gods, not aliens, just memory. The earth itself remembering what it used to be before we paved it, burned it, broke it. He said, we were the noise. Now the quiet is speaking back. And then, just before his signal dissolved, don't ignore the silence. It has a shape. I don't know what he meant. I don't want to know. Because the silence here does feel shaped now. It's not absence. It's presence. When I pause too long between transmissions, I feel it moving, like it's listening, like it's learning. But I keep talking anyway, because silence might shape itself like a storm. But my voice can still cut through it. And tonight, someone else called back. A voice I hadn't heard in days. Devin, the boy with the dog. He came through again just after 2 a.m. The signal was weaker, but it was him. He said Clover was still with him. That the garage roof had started leaking. That he'd built a fort from car mats and boxes. That he found a candy bar under a front seat and split it in half. Half for him, half for the dog. He said, she doesn't even like chocolate, but I didn't want to eat alone. He's 12 years old, and the last known survivor of Hartford. And he's still sharing, still kind, still trying. He asked if the stars would ever come back the way they used to. I told him yes, because I had to, because he needed me to. Then he asked if I would still be here in the morning, and I told him I'd try, that I'd stay on this frequency for as long as my hands could hold the wires together. And he said, okay, just okay, like that was all he needed. Then he said, "Thank you, Mr. Jordan," and signed off. That Mr. hit me harder than I expected, because it means he still sees the world with rules, with structure, with someone to look up to, even now. Even when everything's ash and shadow, he still sees a person behind the voice. And that means something. It means I can't stop yet. It means this broadcast isn't just a signal. It's a promise to the people still holding on, to the memories that haven't faded, to the names written in the margins of this notebook, glowing faintly in the dying light. So if you're hearing this, please keep speaking. Even if the world has no ears left, even if it's just your reflection in the dark, say your name. Say their names. Say, "I'm still here." This is Jordan Hale, alone, awake, afraid, but still speaking, still human, still willing to carry your names into the dark. 3:12 a.m., I think. There's no power meter anymore. The signal is holding by instinct or momentum, or maybe just sheer will. I rerouted the last of the juice from the emergency beacon, drained the backup from the emergency exit light. I don't know how this mic is still live. I've stopped questioning it. I'm just letting it happen. The station's dark now. Really dark. No flicker, no warmth, just the slow breath of dust and metal. Every sound echoes longer than it should. When I cough, it feels like it bounces off the walls twice before dying. And I'm hearing things. I don't mean voices, not the real kind, not the call-ins. I mean memories crawling through the static. Sounds I haven't heard in years, creeping in at the edges of silence. My mother's voice calling me to dinner, the beeping of a microwave, the creak of my old bedroom door when the wind used to push it open at night. They're not hallucinations, they're residue of what used to be. I think when the world burns this slowly, the ash becomes part of the air, and the air carries everything you lost back to you. But there are still real voices too. Tonight I heard from Naoko, Tokyo District. She didn't say which. Said she's in a subway maintenance tunnel with an elderly man and a child. The tunnel's narrow, and she's afraid of collapse. Said she hears creaking in the ceiling every time the trains above ground try to restart. But she also said this: "The child has been drawing pictures in the dust. He draws animals, real ones, ones I've never seen. I think they're from before my time." She sends out a Morse signal once every hour. IMSTILLHERE. I can't explain why, but it made me cry. I think it's because she chose those words. Not help, not dying, not gone. Just I'm still here. Like she's planting her feet on the edge of the world and daring it to forget her. I also heard from Rashid, broadcasting from a mosque's basement in northern Sudan. He said the wind outside has turned white, not with snow, not with sand. He described it like powdered glass, sweeping low to the ground, never rising above knee height. Said it moves without a source, without sound. He hasn't left the building in 5 days. He says prayers every sunrise, even though he hasn't seen the sun in over a week. He asked if it's still okay to hope. I told him hope isn't a yes or no. It's not logic. Hope is choosing to light a candle when the sky has already gone out. Hope is pushing your voice into the dark and daring it to echo. Hope is the sound you make when there's no reason left to speak. And you speak anyway. He was quiet for a long time after that. Then he said, "I'll stay with the mic." And I knew what he meant. There was another transmission. This one came in strange. Strong at first, clear, from what sounded like deep in the Alaskan interior. Voice was male, mid-40s, name unknown. He didn't identify himself, just started reading. Not news, not a plea, a list. Coordinates, weather, radiation measurements, soil acidity, barometric pressure. Then, silence. Then he started again. Same list. Like a loop. But the voice was real. It wasn't a bot. It stumbled once, cleared its throat, which means someone's reading it. Over and over. For who, I don't know. I don't know if it's for us, or for something else. But if you're hearing this, if you're the one reading, give us your name. Let us know you're not a machine echoing into oblivion. Let us know you remember the sound of your own voice. I had a strange moment earlier. No signal. Just me. Sitting in the dark, watching the condensation on the steel beams above me. And I felt still. Not empty. Still. Like the bunker had settled. Like the war above had paused to catch its breath. Like the whole earth had exhaled at the same time and for once wasn't afraid of what would come next. I imagined opening the hatch, climbing the ladder, stepping out into a new silence. A better one, not born of destruction, but of reverence, where even the birds have stopped singing, not because they're dead, but because they're listening. Listening for what comes next. But I didn't open the hatch. Because I'm not ready yet. Because somewhere out there, someone is still listening to this. And I owe them my voice. Even if it's raw. Even if it cracks and fails. Even if it's the last thing they hear. I will not be quiet. Not until the last survivor stops whispering names into the dark. Not until this silence is filled with something better than fear. Not until I say the names one more time. Lucia, Rafa, Musa, Naoko, Rashid, Devon and Clover, Amma calling for Kemi, Ezra reading to his wife's photograph, Lorraine and the children in the Detroit church, Helmut doing math by flashlight beneath the Alps, Kayla waiting for her father to call her name. You're still with me. Even if this bunker goes silent tomorrow, your names will not. Not while I have breath. Not while this transmitter still hums. Not while we remember how to say, even in the darkest hour, I'm still here. This is Jordan Hale, broadcasting from nowhere, holding on to everything. If you can hear me, say something. Say anything, please. 4:07 a.m. I can't feel my fingers anymore. I've got them wrapped in cloth, old shirts, scraps of vinyl from the backup paneling, but it's not helping much. I've stopped writing names down by hand. I can't hold the pen, so now I just speak them. Say them again and again until they feel carved into the air. I don't know how much longer the signal will hold. I'm not even sure how I'm still awake. My thoughts come slower now, like they're moving through syrup. And every so often, I find myself staring at the wall, forgetting why I started talking in the first place. But then a voice comes through, and I remember. I remember exactly why I'm still here. Tonight, I heard something I didn't expect. Not a name, not a call for help, not even a location. Just this. "You're not alone. We hear you." It wasn't clear. It repeated. Slight delay between the lines. Could have been a relay bouncing off something high. Maybe stratospheric balloons. Maybe old satellites barely hanging on. But the voice was real. Software low. Male. No identification. No origin. Just that sentence. Over and over. "You're not alone. We hear you." And when I tried to respond, the signal disappeared. Gone. Like a dream you almost remembered. But it did something to me. It stirred something. Not hope. Not exactly. Something older. Like instinct. Like the recognition that maybe, just maybe, the quiet isn't all there is. Maybe something's watching this flame we've built out of memory and static. Maybe something's keeping it alive. I don't know what's out there anymore. But I know this. I'm not done. Not yet. And tonight, I heard from more survivors. There was a man in Newark, name of Dale. Said he's been living in the boiler room of an old apartment complex. No windows, concrete walls. He's got canned peaches and a crank radio that only works if he talks to it first. Tells it a joke, he said, like it needs convincing. Dale's been alone since day 2. No contact, no neighbors. Just pigeons, he said, who roosted in the stairwells for warmth. He told me he'd forgotten how to speak for a while. Stopped using his voice. Then one day he started singing just to see what it sounded like. Said it scared him at first. His own voice, breaking the silence. But it felt good. So now he sings every morning. Just one verse. Gospel hymns. Elvis covers. Beatles songs. Whatever his mind can pull from the wreckage. He asked if I wanted to hear. So he sang me, "Let It Be." The notes were broken, but the feeling was whole. And then he said, "Jordan, if this is the last song I ever sing, I want it to go somewhere." And it did, Dale. It's here now. It's part of this. It matters. A woman named Hadia called from what used to be Cairo. Her voice was cracked, like she hadn't spoken to another person in weeks. Said she'd found a radio in the wreckage of a broadcast van, half buried under sand and stone. She repaired it with a necklace wire and the battery from a weather drone. She was a language teacher once. She told me a word I didn't know. Saber. It means patience, but not just waiting. It means the kind of strength that lives in waiting. The kind that stands up again and again, even when the world keeps knocking you down. She said the desert is starting to shift, that sand is blowing in new directions, that the stars are changing places. And I believe her, because everything's moving now, slowly, like the planet itself is trying to shake off the fever, like something's crawling out of the smoke. Hadia said, "I've buried 3 people, but I am not burying myself." Then she read poetry. In Arabic. I didn't understand the words, but I understood the silence after. It was the kind of silence that honors something, like a heartbeat that survived the fire. Another voice came through, this time from Montreal. A teenager named Felix, 17, said he's been living in the back of a comic shop, surviving off cereal and old vending machine snacks. He's wired together 5 different radios. Said he built a mini transmitter from parts of a broken cash register and a busted drone controller. "I figured if the world went sci-fi," he said, "I might as well do the same." He's been drawing, in charcoal, on the walls. He draws cities alive again. draws people smiling in warm cafes, draws sunlight, not the sick kind, not the red kind, but real golden light, the kind that hits your skin and makes you believe in summer. He said, I draw to remember where we're going, not just where we've been. And I believe in that. I believe in him, in Hadia, in Dale, in Naoko and Devon and Lorraine and Ezra and Amma and Rashid and Alina and everyone else who's taken a broken radio and dared to speak through it. You're the signal now. You're what keeps this sky from folding in completely. And if you're hearing this, I want you to know I remember your names. I whisper them when I think I'm going to fall asleep for the last time. I say them like prayer, like a rope I'm holding on to, like a map drawn in smoke. Because even if I'm the last voice on this frequency, I won't let us vanish, not quietly, not without an echo. This is Jordan Hale, still here, still holding on, still listening for one more voice, one more breath, one more signal, even if it's just the sound of someone else remembering how to say I'm alive. Say it. Say it now. Say it like it matters. Because it does. 4:55 a.m., still dark, still here. I don't know how. I've rewired the same circuit so many times I could do it with my eyes closed. Probably already have. My hands are numb, the copper tape's down to strands, and I'm using the last of the thermal lining from my jacket to stop the transmitter from freezing. I talk in bursts now, slow and careful, like I'm rationing my own breath. I keep expecting the mic to cut out mid-sentence, but somehow it holds. And so do I. Even if the cold's inside me now, even if my body's starting to forget what warmth felt like, I think we're on the edge of something. Not rescue, not salvation, just the edge. The moment where everything either breaks or holds. And I heard someone tonight who helped me believe we might still hold. His name was Sami. 73, broadcasting from what's left of Aleppo, Syria. He said the streets are quiet now, not because no one's left, but because the ones who remain have learned to move without sound. He called them the walking careful. He's not in a bunker, not underground, just the back room of a crumbling bakery, walls blackened by old fires, roof patched with sheet metal and faith. Sami lost his family a long time ago, long before the bombs. But he stayed because, as he said, you don't leave a place just because it's been wounded. You wrap it, you tend it, you let it tell you when it's ready to die. And Aleppo hasn't told him that yet. Every morning, he lights a match, not for warmth, not for light, but to remember the smell of fire that doesn't kill. He said he listens to this broadcast because it reminds him he's not the last soul on earth. Then he added, with a laugh in his throat, even if we are, at least we'll die telling stories. Sami, if you're still listening, I'm still here. And I'm not done telling them yet. I also caught a low signal from Reykjavik, a woman named Inga, mid-30s. Said she's been staying in the geothermal tunnels with her cousin and 2 strangers they found frozen in the street, who now sleep beside them in sleeping bags they took from a tourist bus. Inga described the sky as cracked. She said the light isn't light anymore. It bends, blurs, pulses like a heartbeat. The air smells like static. Her cousin won't speak. Hasn't spoken since they watched the northern lights shift color and fall from the sky. Inga said she thinks something's broken in the atmosphere, something permanent. But she still makes soup, every night, even when all she has is boiled snow and dried mushrooms. I pretend, she said. I pretend it tastes like the broth my mother made, the way she stirred it when she was tired but still wanted us to feel okay. And then she said something that cut right through me. She said, I think we heal each other just by pretending we're not broken. If that's true, then maybe this voice, this fractured, static-wrapped, sleepless voice, maybe it's healing someone too, even if I'll never know their name. The strangest thing happened about 30 minutes ago. I lost all signal. No static. No voices. No clicks. Just nothing. A total blackout. Like the sky forgot how to listen. I checked every wire. Every fuse. I panicked, honestly. Thought that was it. That the mic had finally burned out. Or I had. But then, without warning, the signal returned. Not a voice. A tone. A long, slow frequency. Low. So low, it felt like it was coming from beneath the earth. Like it wasn't bouncing off satellites or atmospheres, but welling up from under the ground itself. It lasted 26 seconds. Then it vanished. I recorded it. Played it back 3 times. And every time, I felt the same thing. Like someone, something was announcing that we've been heard. Not rescued, not saved, but acknowledged. Like all this noise we've been making. It mattered. Even if we never know who's listening. I know how that sounds. I know I'm tired, freezing, probably dehydrated, maybe dying. But it felt real. And maybe that's enough. If this is the last hour, then let it be full of names. Let it echo with the ones who made it this far. Sammy in Aleppo, lighting a match to remember warmth. Inga, Reykjavik, stirring soup for voices that won't speak. Dale, singing alone in Newark. Hadia, Cairo, speaking poems into sandstorms. Devin and his dog Clover, somewhere in Hartford, still sharing chocolate. Lorraine in the Detroit church, telling bedtime stories to children by candlelight. Amma, still calling for Kemi. Felix, drawing new worlds on comic shop walls. Lucia, whispering fairy tales to ghosts in San Juan. Nyoko in the subway, with dust-drawn animals. Ezra setting a second place at the table for someone who's not coming home. All of you, you are not forgotten. Not while I can still speak. Not while I can whisper your names into this tired machine. Not while the world still hums, however faintly. This is Jordan Hale, still alive, still beneath the earth, still refusing to let this story end in silence. If you're out there, don't let the last thing you say be goodbye. Let it be I'm still here. Let it be you're not alone. Let it be a name, yours, theirs, ours. I'll be back in 1 hour, if I can, if this transmitter holds, if my voice does. Until then, keep speaking, even into the dark, especially into the dark.